Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and today I am bringing to you 7 looks with the KKW Classic Blossom palette. Disclaimer, I've never watched an episode of the Kardashians, so that has nothing to do with my review today, just for your information. I'm feeling more neutral these days, if you can't tell. I still love color, but on a day-to-day basis, I'm just feeling neutrals. And so I thought this palette with these colors would make a great sort of like everyday palette for kind of grayed out, just a tad cool tone in most cases. I was curious about the formula. I did get the 7 looks idea from my friend Kelly from GlamWithKelly. So I'm going to link her channel down in the description box. I've been struggling with how many looks to do with each palette. I want to get a good feel, and I don't always feel like I do that when I do 3 or 4 looks, but I also, my eyeballs can't handle 10 looks as much as I'd love to do that with a lot of palettes. So I felt like 7 was a good sort of in between, even with, you know, a smaller palette like this. So we're gonna get into the 7 looks now. They are very sped through. I'm putting music instead of a voiceover, and we will talk about my thoughts at the end. I hope you enjoyed those 7 looks, and as always, you could let me know down in the comments which was your favorite. That helps me out to know what kind of looks you might want to see from palettes in the future. So starting off with this very light pink right here, I had no problems with this shade. It does show up on the eye quite a bit warmer and slightly deeper than it does in the pan. Going into this shade here, this is just your light to medium mid-tone, like brown. It is warm, so that's nice in this palette. And then we have this shade, which is kind of like a light copper shade. It is pretty, but it does not pack as much metallic pump as this shade down here, or as I was expecting by looking at it in the pan. But it's a beautiful shade. I think these 2 shades together could be a one and done, out the door look, whether it be for work, school, grocery shopping, what have you. Going into this shade, which is like a berry metallic shade, I had no issues with this, but again, this was not as metallic as I was expecting it to be. Going into this shade right here, which is that bronzy brown tone, I use this for a liner with a setting spray. I did an almost one shadow look in the second look, I believe it was, where I put this brown all over the lid and up into the crease. It's a beautiful shadow for that. Coming back over here to this shade, it does look cream or whitish in the pan, but it actually has quite a little pink tinge to it, which is actually really beautiful. It adds a little bit of interest to this if you use it all over the lid, as I did in the matte look. This shade Absolutely 100% one of my favorite sort of tones and types of shadows. This is more to like the dusty purple, a little bit mauve shade, and it's just beautiful. It works great as a transition. It works great built up as a one shadow crease. West is definitely my favorite shimmer in the palette. I do wish that it was a wee bit lighter though. These shades are very similar on the lid, although this packs a little bit more of a metallic punch. They're similar tone and they're very similar in depth. I do wish this was a little bit lighter. I just feel like what's missing from this palette is a slightly lighter shimmer for really brightening the inner part of the eye. Okay, so then moving into this purple. As you would have seen in the 7th look, this is not by any means my favorite look. It just doesn't show up that purple on the eyes. I really have to sort of press it on, minimal blending, and when I do blend it, it pretty much just blends away the purpleness of it. This shade is actually really beautiful. It's a beautiful berry toned matte. It worked beautifully in the crease. It worked beautifully on the lid. However, same story as this other purple, you absolutely have to build this up if you want any oomph to the look. And this may be really good news for some people. I recommend this to someone who wants an everyday neutral palette that is not brown. I could think of a million 2 shadow or 1 shadow looks out of this palette. And that's great for every day. It's great for someone who's still learning eyeshadow. It's great for someone who is still unsure about their blending skills, because these hardly need blended at all and you can blend them with any brush. It really is going to have the same diffusing effect. I will absolutely use this palette a lot. It will sit up here on my desk as an easy grab on those days that I need to get out the door or that I'm like wanting a certain tone of transition shade. This is chock full of transition shades. Even the deeper tones go on at like a mid-tone level and would be fine as a 1 shadow crease. I love pressed pigments and very pigmented shadows, but I also have a need for shadows that are foolproof and blend out like a dream, and these definitely do. So, as always, with these reviews on new palettes, I'm not encouraging you to go out and buy more eyeshadow that you don't need or that would duplicate things in your collection. I just want to bring you the facts, bring you some looks and inspiration in case you do purchase this palette or you do have these shades in your collection, which I'm sure a lot of us do. And thank you so much for spending part of your day here with me today. If you're not subscribed, I hope you will consider subscribing before you leave. And with all of that said, I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days, and I will see you in my next video real soon.